to like almost like love it, even though it's maybe harder. But compared to like '90s, where like things are just sort of given to you, this, that, and the other, and we're like, you know. But like now, you kind of have to sort of like be industrious and thoughtful, and like kind of like and sort of engage different aspects of your mental capacity. Like think in terms of more marketing, and that's kind of fun, right? Like, what was it? What was it like working with Kurt Cobain?
When we tried to create together, it was difficult.
Clash of the Titans.
But I recognized immediately that there was a huge difference between, his talent and what I had going.
Two nice guys finishing last.
Two nice guys finishing last. Nobody wanted to be the shot caller.
Right. You needed an alpha. Maybe.
Well, he was a fan of mine. That's how I met him.
Okay.
Both of us were just like kind of non-engaged.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But, well, you know what I think infected a lot of people back then, and, I got signed in the mid-'90s, so I'm back then too. It was, we were all cool, like, but we were all kind of too cool or something, or like disengaged maybe was like cool or something.
This was more like...
Yeah, that wasn't it.
No.
I knew, as soon as it came out of my mouth, I'm like, nah, that's not what it is.
No, it wasn't that. It was two nice guys finishing last. and then one of them becoming not so nice and finishing first.
Right.
And so recently, a guy who I knew, I wasn't great friends with him, but I knew a guy named Mark Lanegan. He was the singer for a band called the Screaming Trees. And I found out something very shocking in the past couple of days, is that he was possibly part of a murder plot of Kurt Cobain. And I just found this out in like the past 48 hours. That somebody that I knew could have possibly murdered Kurt fucking Cobain. Have a nice day, right? They say Lanegan is one of the people that held him down and gave him a hot shot. And I'm thinking to myself, what? So somebody who was there that night, who witnessed it, has come out with a book. And it is troubling. And I'm not even going to say her name. Don't anybody say her name in here. You know what? Ban the name that begins with a C. That was her, that was his wife. Please ban that name. I want nothing to do with her. I'm just saying that somebody wrote a book. No, that was not, he was already dispatched. And by a hot shot, I mean an injection. And that was like staged. Courtney. Just block that name. Thank you. Now, she was not there, okay? And she's someone's name who I cannot mention in this situation, so... believe that shit? Like, Lanegan? So that means when I met him, it was already done, right? Like, by the time I met Lanegan, Kurt was already gone. So I'm having quite a week. Is there anything else? Anything else anybody wants to put, you know?
I did commit a crime. Sunday night in the AM, 2:32. My trigger finger all blistered and blue.
Additional note from the timeline graphic: Mark Lanegan's song "Sunday Night, 2:30 a.m." references the same time frame. Sunday night in the AM, 2:32. My trigger finger all blistered and blue. This lyric eerily matches the suspected time of Kurt's death, around 2:32 a.m. on Sunday, April 3rd, 1994. These are the lyrics to the song Living Dead by Mark Lanegan. Bridge 1, Your Daddy's Over the Wall. Kurt jumped the wall at Exodus Recovery Center, rehab. Your daddy's coming home. Oh, he left and went to 171 Lake Washington Boulevard, Seattle, his home. He's only 2 states away. He was in California at the time, in rehab. Sunday night, 2:30 a.m. lyrics. There's a chill in my bones. Something's invading my home. Sunday night, 2:30 a.m. My hands are like ice, then on fire again. My last cigarette that wages a sin. Just after midnight, there's a darkness all over. Sunday night in the AM, 2:52. My trigger finger all blistered and blue. From 24 hours of turning the screw, and it makes me wonder how long I'll wander, hanging on for DRC. Dylan Randolph Carlson. You've always held your tongue, despite what evil thing I'd done. Dark Mark vs. Skeleton Joe album was released in 2021 on October 15th. The digital and streaming versions of the album were released on this date, with a physical vinyl edition shipped later in 2022. February 22nd, 2022. Mark Lanegan died at his home in Killarney on the morning of February 22nd, 2022, at the age of 57. Here it is. Courtney found out sometime on Saturday, April 2nd, 1994, that Kurt was back at his mansion in Seattle. She then has Mark Lanegan, Dylan Carlson, and likely Danny Rich show up at the house a little later on in the early morning hours of Easter Sunday, April 3rd, 1994. Then Kurt Cobain was murdered in the early morning hours of Sunday, April 3rd, 1994. Kurt was attacked in his own basement. He was wrestled to the ground, he was hit over the head with something metal, and then he was forcefully injected with a very high lethal dose of black tar heroin. Kurt's body was moved to the greenhouse and he was shot in the mouth less than a half hour later.
And land across, pointing his neck.